In the next few minutes, I will show you exactly how to make modern drum and bass. Main artists as Chaser Status, Hedex, Boom. First we're gonna build the drums, design the bass, work on the vocals, and finish a full drum and bass song. First set a tempo to around 175 BPM. We'll be working in F minor. It's the perfect key to bring out your bass sound some more. So as the genre says, drum and bass is really drum heavy. Let's start off with the drums. Pick a punchy kick, cracking clap, and a hard hitting snare. All coming from our new DAS sample pack. It's the ultimate toolkit for drum and bass with rap vocals, all the samples you need, and a lot of sick presets. It's linked down below if you want to check it out. So let's work on the basic drums by creating the most common drum and bass pattern. So kick it every hit, clap it every second, giving us this, and then move the kick 2 steps to the side. There you have your drum and bass pattern, and then just turn it into an 8-bar loop and make a small fill at the end, like this. That's the basic stuff, so now let's create some more movement. One key element I learned from producing drum and bass is that you need to stack the heads to get it sound professional. So we're gonna stack these 3 loops from the pack. Something like this. But we need to professionalize it some more. So let's do some drum bass mixing. First add in some compression by catching the peaks and add some distortion. Too heavy, so mix it in. Altogether our drums sound like this. Now we're gonna dive in the other vital part of a drum and bass song, the bass. Let's make a bass similar to Chaser Status did in tracks as these. First, let's dive into the sound design. So let's start off with a sub oscillator, -2 octaves. Just a really clean sub, you can barely hear it because it's only sub information. But then we're gonna layer it with another sine wave. It's at +7 semitones because the macro is fully enabled, giving some more harmonics. Layer it with a noise sound. And remove the low end of oscillator A and the noise. Also shape envelope like this with quite some attack and release. And now here comes the key part of the sound. Distort it together with LFO1 to the drive. So it's a fully driven sound like this. Bring back the low end with the EQ. Compress it together. And some reverb and delay together with a mod wheel. And then some mixing. Remove the real sub end to make room for an 808 kind of sub. Make it a bit stereo. And some more delay. So now we're gonna work on the MIDI. Start off on the root note. Then up to the distant note of the scale for some more energy. Just like this. We're gonna create an A and a B part, so leave the B part empty for now. And start off on the 3rd note for the variation. And finish on the 6th. So then I added this 808 preset for the pack to use as a sub bass. So just paste in the MIDI and remove the fuzz notes for a steady one. Otherwise the 808 will just sound weird. Which sounds cool, but it's still lacking a little bit. So let's layer it with one of my favorite presets from the Dust pack. This brass preset is really optimizing all the new Serum 2 functions, sounding like this. So just copy over the MIDI. That typical drum and bass sound you hear in a lot of Chaser Status tracks. And then just mix it some more. Of course remove the low end. Some OTT. And make it stereo. Something like this. So then route all these synth elements to a sidechain channel. Add a fully balance. Automate the volume. And create a manual sidechain. Just like this. Copy the value. Paste it. And let it dock around here. Really bring out the kick some more. And just duplicate it so you have it on every kick hit. So then open up the DAS sample pack. And drop in a bass loop. Like this. on and cut it up for the B part. Give it a little fade out and mix it some more. First, open up the high end with some fresh air. Classic Soundganizer, of course. Then OTT. So altogether the basses sound like this.
The game was P for them, don't know much.
We got the drum combination ready, so now we're gonna move on to the vocal and the breakdown. Let's pick a vocal from our dust sample pack.
Brother decent, she think I'm decent. Pour me up some A, sign settling my.
They're all really dope.
Ooh, generational well. I love the way it sounds when I
think I clocked the game was P.
But we're gonna go for this one and just pitch it down one semitone. Need to move it to the right. And just drop it in. Pitch it down to cut it in key.
Think I clocked the games was
sounding like this, really solid already. So then just pick a reese from the dust pack. Let's go for this one. Start off on the root notes. Up to the third, seventh. And the dissonant to really get a dark energy.
Think I clocked the games was P for them.
Sound
Don't
like
know
this.
much, can't speak for them. 140 on the dashboard.
And then just drop it in FX. Like for example this one. It's in D sharp, so we need to pitch it up 2 semitones to get it in F sharp.
Think I clocked the games was P for them. Don't know much, can't speak for them.
Yeah, it's
140 on the
solid.
dashboard.
Then end it on rhythm by cutting up a top loop.
Think I clocked the games was P for them. Don't know much, can't speak for them. 140 on the.
Like this.
Think I clocked the games was P for them. Don't know much, can't speak for them.
And just work some more on the build up. So I quickly made a build up with a drum fill, the breath steps, racer, and I think I want to add in a snare roll as well. So go to the snare builds. Really basic, but it gets the job done, so drop it a few dB.
This very dust gon' keep her up tonight. She ain't gonna see
like this.
Anytime that we turn up, we run it back and repeat again.
Yeah, it's really high energy. Really like it, so get an EQ on the master channel.
This very dust gon' keep her up tonight.
Let's make it like this. Together with in the smell. And I also cut up the press. Like this. Following the MIDI from the root, second, and third. So let's just duplicate it and bring back in the vocal at every 8 bars. And there we have ourselves a really solid drum and bass drop. So I think the final result turned out really dope. Let me know what you think about this one in the comments. Besides that, if you want to grab the pack, it's linked down below. And I see y'all in the next videos.
Think I clocked the games was P for them. Don't know much, can't speak for them. 140 on the dashboard, not BPM, it's not EDM. This very dust gon' keep her up tonight. She ain't gonna see her bed. Anytime that we turn up, we run it back and repeat again. Anytime that we turn up, we run it back and repeat again. That we turn up, we run it back and repeat again.